Hey, what is up, guys? Blunt Guts here. This is a Watcher Realms video. Thank you so much for tuning into my channel. I really appreciate it. I'm going to try to make this a quick one, but I got a lot to say. I got a lot to say about the banners that are coming out this weekend, and there are a lot of them. Good God, and big ones too. So we have got, let's just go through the list here. We've got Phineas and Magda and assorted epics that nobody gives a shit about. And then we've got the Nascent Summoning, which is honestly, I think, my favorite banner. The 1+1, not so much anymore because I always get bad heroes on it. All you people that love the 1+1, I wish I had your luck. I don't. So I've stopped being all that interested. If circumstance does present itself and I am close to mercy, I will go for it, but that is the only situation where I will. However, this Nascent Summoning is like gold to me because there are some heroes that just elude everybody's accounts, right? Not the same ones, but it seems like it's just hard to get new heroes. It's like I've got a list of like 8 or 9 of them. Actually, it might be more than that. Might be more like 10 or 11 of the non-ancient heroes that I am able to get. That I'm not able to get is really the issue. Because I just can't pull them for the life of me. And there's like 7 common bucket heroes that I just can't get. So this is one of my favorite events, and I am really looking forward to it. And then on Friday we've got a big old stinker here. I can't believe this is the Black Friday Ancient banner they decided to put out. Araka and Lugaru. It's like, what? You put out here? This is what you want to get people to spend money on what's supposed to be one of the biggest banner weekends of the year. I'm not even going to say more on this. We're not even going to talk about it other than the fact that don't pull on it because there are better banners coming. I guarantee you that. I don't even know how long it's going to be until those better banners come. There's rumors, of course, about a Ingrid and Ardea banner that might be coming out. Unfortunately, I have both those heroes, so it won't be big for me. But if you don't have either one, I would be pulling on that. I certainly wouldn't be pulling on this. Araka is just not all that great anymore. I mean, you don't need her really for anything at this point in the game. And Lugaru is, he's solid, but I wouldn't be pulling on a banner for a lord that you can get from a regular old summon. So I just wouldn't be, I wouldn't touch this one. I'm not going to say anything more about that banner. But I am going to talk about this banner right here. We've got Phineas, who, is going to be yet another single tile range fighter. Now, he's not quite like all the others. He does have a 3 tile range on his ultimate, also on his auto here, which seems like an oversight. Originally, when he was first leaked, when Destined and his leaker cohort, they did leak this guy. He did have a 3 tile range on everything, and everybody was super excited. I was super excited. I thought he was going to be great in GBG. Looked like a powerhouse. And then Moonton went and they decimated him. I don't get it. I don't get why they do this. It's just, it drives me crazy. I don't know why they can't put out heroes that are multifunctional. It just doesn't. It's just really annoying. It's like we can't get nice things in this game unless you pay through the nose for ancient stuff. And even then, it's like they're gun shy after putting out Ingrid and things like that. That's not the response I think they should have taken. They should have taken the response of power creep is going to happen. Let's keep on creeping. Let's creep away. But it's not the decision they made, and now he has a 1 tile range, which basically destroys his viability any place except for boss fights for the most part. I think that he might end up being decent in GVG in some spots as a defender. His BP is not terrible. You can go. I will have links to my Phineas videos. I've got a skills breakdown, got some damage testing. I've also got some GVG testing that I did put out today. Those links will be in the description of this video. So I would certainly recommend that you go and you take that, check those videos out if you are interested in him. I think I've done a pretty good job of covering him. So I'm not going to say more than that there. If you want more details, go and check out those videos. I will say he is very good. He's a good hero for what he does. I think that he's somebody that you want on your account. I think if you're an endgame player, this is not somebody that you want to miss. He's a big-time damage dealer, and he's somebody that has magic resist ignore, which is going to be very useful as this game does progress. So I definitely think you want to pick up at least a copy of him. Honestly, I think the sweet spot, the nice thing about it is the sweet spot is going to be the A1, or if you want to get really cheeky, you probably want to go for the A2 and get that extra 5% attack, which I know a lot of people are not like, I feel like the A2 is kind of slept on a lot. I think it's really important for endgame players. A3 is nice, but I think you can live without it, and it's an extra 25% crit damage for all the Infernal allies when they do use their ultimate. not too shabby. The A4 plus 8% penetration, and the A5, yeah, they're nice, but it's kind of overkill at that point, honestly. I think if you're just looking to maximize his individual damage, then the A1 or maybe the A2 are where it's at. A3 is just for the allies. Other than that, anything else is gravy. I don't think, unless you're a whale, you're not really pulling for A5. And even whales, I wouldn't really recommend that you pull for A5 with this guy, honestly. I would save it for like a Wukong or something like that, something in the future. But, if you're like an oil baron and you're like, you just like throwing money around, yeah, go for the A5. He's a great hero. He really is a good hero. So I think he's worth having, and I'm certainly going to be pulling for him tomorrow. All right, let's talk about Magda here, who's somebody who I was super excited about when she was first pulled, and primarily for this skill right here. Not this skill, excuse me. This skill right here, Electric Torrent. The hero, adjacent allies, and allies within attack range gain penetration increase and damage increase. This goes up to, I believe, 15% penetration, and the damage increase goes up to 20%, which is just bonkers. It's so good. And this is for everybody, basically in a 1-tile range around her, as well as 2 tiles directly in front of her. So that is awesome. You can fit a total of, let's see, 9 different units in there. So including her, that's your entire team if you stack them all around her. And you can basically give them 15% penetration and 20% damage permanently. That is bonkers good. I've wanted it on my account for a long time. That's the main reason to get her. She's a good hero otherwise. She does a lot of AoE damage. The weakness being that her attack range is kind of wonky. It's only 2 tiles in front of her. And she does this knockback thing, which is not, great. It's not bad, really. But it's just not. She's limited. She doesn't have anti-air, which is what you'd really like to see from a hero like her. And so that kind of screws her over, I think, as far as GVG viability is concerned. It limits her in arena, obviously, as well. I don't think there's really any place that you really need her in the game. She's best in probably like in Gear Raid 1. That's really her spot, but that's not really a huge impediment these days for most accounts, so I don't think you really need her. Awakenings-wise, there's just not really much that's all that compelling on Magda. When deployed, immediately restores 5 costs. It's kind of cool in concept, but I mean, I don't know. It's very situational. It doesn't really enhance her output in any way, so I don't like that. 300 attack, that is always nice on the A2. And A3, after an ally dies in range, attacks 5 more targets for 12 seconds. That kind of, I mean, it's like a double-edged sword, right? The only way that you get that is if you fail in some way and somebody dies. So there's ways that you can work that kind of. I think that summons might count towards that. So if like a Cyrus summon dies or something like that, you could get some bonus. But 8% penetration, that is nice. That is very, very nice. And then finally, the A5 during the ultimate increases attack speed by 100, which is something that many heroes get on their A1, which is just... you don't love that. So I don't think you really need Magda Awakenings. I think you need to get her, and you need to skill her up so that you've got Electric Torrent maxed out. That's what you want. Other than that, I don't think you really need more of her, which I guess is kind of the rub behind my Nascent strategy as well, which I will talk about in a second. I want to talk about the Nascent summoning, but before that, a word from our sponsors. It has been a tough couple of weeks for Watcher of Realms and that whole summoning issue. I'm not here to tell you to spend, but I do know that some of you are going to be spending over the Thanksgiving holiday, Black Friday. You are going to be buying W Gold, trying to get Lord Phineas, maybe Magda, maybe you want to go for the Nascent. If you are planning to do so, definitely recommend that you buy your W Gold through Smile One, the official third-party payment platform for Watcher of Realms. Smile One, if you use the exclusive link in the description of this video, they are going to give you a 10% discount on your W Gold purchase. On top of that, if you do top up your W Gold between November 22nd and November 29th, they will give you special top-up rewards based on the amount that you do purchase. They are to the right of me on the screen right now. So, again, I am not telling anybody that they should spend, but I am telling you that if you are going to spend, don't spend more than you have to. Follow the link in the description. Let's get back to the video. So, the Nascent summoning, definitely recommend that you all go and break down your odds on this. You should go to fastidious.gg. I'm going to head over there right now, and I'm going to show you exactly what my odds are. And I'm going to give you some tips that I think you should consider before you pull on either one of these banners. Let's get over there. All right, so I am on fastidious.gg. If you go and you register an account, I'm not trying to do an advertisement for Fastidious or anything, but you do have to, I found out myself because I just registered today, have to register an account on here to access this tool. But once you do register, you do get access to this, and you can actually narrow down your Nascent banner odds. So for me, for example, I've got Morgan here. She is the rare lore that I don't have. I did just pull Leia, actually, last weekend, which was awesome. Going into the common lords, I guess, Ajax and King Hars. I still don't have either one of those, but I do have the rest of them. As far as the rare heroes, I don't have Salazar. I don't have Magda. I do have Arrogance at this point, as many of you have been following me for a long time do know. I did pull him a couple of months ago, but I've left Arrogance on there because I am using him in lieu of Lord Phineas, which you might think is odd, right? And everybody might think you want to pull for Phineas and Magda first so you can remove them from the pool, right? I don't know that that's the case, depending on your situation. For my situation, I don't think that's the case. I'll explain in a second. So the rest of these are all common heroes that I don't want, with one exception. I would love to get myself a Nyx. Nyx is a really, really good common bucket hero who just never seems to want to drop from my account. I don't know why. I've never been able to get her. I know a lot of people just can't stop pulling her. I can't start. So, Serafina, I could care less about. Kai, I don't want. Lassir, I don't want. Glacius, Fastidious has him rated as an S. I would disagree with that strongly, but I don't know what piece of content he's referring to. Maybe there's something specific that I'm not thinking of. Beatrix, I don't think is very good either. So all of these heroes in the common bucket, with the exception of Nyx, I don't care for. I don't really want any of those. Now, the reason that I've left Magda and faux Phineas, we're going to call him Arrogance over here, in the pool, because if you look at the odds that are above my head right here. So right now, as structured, I've got 1.84% chance to pull a Morgan, 5.5% chance to pull an Ajax or a Hars. That's cumulatively, that is a little bit less than, it's like 7.35%. So not great to pull, but that would be my best case scenario, right? The next best option would be for me to get one of these rare bucket heroes, whether that be Magda, whether that be Phineas, who's represented by Arrogance here, or a Salazar, which would be great. I would love a Salazar. I want Awakenings on him, so even though he's coming as a fusion, it's still like a Salazar, because I just want to awaken him as much as possible. I don't want any of these heroes, as I previously mentioned. So let me show you what happens if I remove Magda and Arrogance from the pool here. So once I do that, my common bucket chance goes from 77% all the way up to 80%. It's almost a 10% increase. I'm much more likely to get a common that way than I would have been previously. And I want Awakenings again on the rare one. So I would rather pull on the Nascent first, and I will pull on the Nascent first. I'm going to get my Nascent hero. Would love it to be a Morgan. Would love it to be an Ajax. Honestly, Ajax would be best case scenario. Or a King Hars. I don't really want, but for completeness, I would take him just to have him on my account. Failing that, getting one of the three that I want down here, Salazar, Magda, or Arrogance, aka Lord Phineas. In this case, he's representing him. So that is my thought on it. I am going to, again, do the Nascent first, see if I can get that. I'm going to keep the pool of heroes that I really do want larger. It's right now it is at what, almost 20, it's like 22.5%. If I remove those two heroes, if I were to pull on the Magda Phineas banner first, get both of those heroes, all of a sudden I've only got like a 13% chance to get somebody that I actually want. So I guess a little higher if you include Nyx, but either way, you can reduce the odds, accordingly for both of those calculations. So that is my thought. I would recommend that you think about what you need and go and check out this tool. I know that there's a spreadsheet that's out there as well that allows you to do the same thing. So I would go and I would check that out before you make any decisions. Well, there you have it, guys. So that is my advice to you. I would definitely look into the way that your specific Nascent pool is going to break down. Make sure that you're pulling in the way that's most advantageous to you. So whether that be pulling on the Phineas and Magda banner first, or if you're going to pull on the Nascent summoning banner, I would just check and make sure that you're doing it appropriately. I would avoid the 2x ones. I would definitely pull on the Nascent and the Phineas banner. I don't really care who you are. Getting a copy of Phineas is a good idea, in my opinion. Even if you're like just hardcore GVG, just get a copy of him. I don't think you need like multiple copies, but he does a lot of damage. You might find yourself in a spot where you need to bring an Infernal team in, and he is going to be a key cog alongside Zillitu in making that really functional in the current environment in the game. So definitely recommend that. Stay away from this banner over here. You don't want, I mean, they're good heroes. I guess I'm kind of like shitting on this banner. They're good heroes. I just wouldn't be pulling specifically for them. It's just not a good rate up. So I would avoid that. Save your ancients for something better. And yeah, that is it for me. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. Please do like and subscribe. If you did enjoy this video, I will catch you all next time.